Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Proper Take. It's Friday, April 8th, second day of MLB. A lot of MLB going on right now while we're recording this. But first, let's get on to NBA for the day. So first game we got up is Milwaukee Bucks versus the Pistons. Bucks may be sitting Giannis for this one after a back-to-back. So a win for the Bucks will seal second spot for them in the East. Pistons actually beat the Bucks last time they played in Milwaukee, but a 5-point spread for Milwaukee, even without Giannis. I think everybody else is looking like they're going to go, so it still looks like not a bad bet to take. Then we'll move on to the New York Knicks versus the Wizards. But Porzingis is out of this one, which is why the Wizards moved from favorite. Last night they were -1.5. They're now +3.5. But Knicks are missing Noel, Randall, Robinson, obviously D Rose. Wizards are missing Caldwell Pope, Kuzma, and Porzingis in this one. It's a nothing game. So, it'll be tough to pick. Could just flip a coin for this one, probably would be best. Next game is the Cavs versus the Nets. Now, this is something more interesting to watch for sure. Cavs are 8.5-point underdog in Brooklyn. Mobley should be back for the Cavs, which is really important for them because they've been pretty bad without their two big men. So at least they get one of them back for tonight. Cavs win and they'll hold on to home advantage going into the play-in. If Nets win, they could avoid the first elimination game with the Hawks loss. So a lot going on in the East of the play-in to finish the season. That's where the most action is, the most interesting parts of the end of the last two games are going to be at, is in this play-in in the East. It's where most of the action's going to be and most of the important games are. Then we're going to the Rockets at the Raptors. Van Fleet's going to be back for the Raptors tonight. They could technically move up to fourth place if they win out and the 76ers lose their last two games. Obviously, that's not likely, but you think they'd be able to at least get the win if they're not going to cover the spread against Houston today. Charlotte Hornets at the Bulls. Both teams are pretty healthy going into this. Hornets need the win more than the Bulls. The Bulls can't move up or down. So it's pretty much a nothing game for them. The Hornets would go tied with the Nets with a win and a net loss. So if the Nets do lose to the Cavs and the Hornets do win this, then they'll move up. The Hornets are a 2.5-point underdog in this, which based on recent performances, I probably would have given them a pick'em game, especially the fact that the Bulls don't need to win and it's more important for the Hornets. So kind of surprised that they're a 2.5-point underdog. Next game is Atlanta versus the Heat. Reason Hawks are favorite is there's a lot of Heat players in a game time decision here. I have a strong feeling they're going to be sitting a few players, and that's why the bookmakers are making the Hawks favorites in Miami. Miami doesn't need a win. They're not going to move up or down. Then they won the East. It's over. The Hawks can overtake the Cavs if the Cavs lose and the Hawks win. So in that play-in, yet again, to go seventh and have home advantage throughout the play-in. So definitely more important game for the Hawks. Doesn't mean Miami's just going to lay down, though. And then we've got Blazers at the Mavs, 19.5-point favorite. Are the Mavs, understandably so, but they don't really need a win. It's just a lot of points. I wouldn't take the Mavs based on that. Look at that. 5 pitches from Aaron Nola to start the game. And immediately 2 ground ball outs. That's Aaron Nola's game. Sorry. watching the Phillies game at the same time. That's our bet for the morning. We didn't record this in time to give you this pick, but we did take the Phillies. So hoping for that on a day 2 win. The next game in NBA is going to be the Suns versus Utah. At Utah, Jazz have a full team. They got both Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley back in the lineup. A win would sew up 5th spot for them. As we know, Suns have nothing to play for, finishing clear number 1 in the West. But looks like they have got their full roster out there too. So we'll see if they're going to want to take some good momentum going into the playoffs and get a win over the Jazz. Last game in NBA is the Thunder against that great team, the LA Lakers. Lakers lost 8 games in a row. Actually, for the first 3 quarters yesterday, they looked really good. Dwight Howard hit like 8 threes, and they were hanging with Golden State, but they just gave way in the 4th. Again, none of the big boys today. No LeBron, no Anthony Davis, no Russell Westbrook, no Carmelo Anthony. But like I said, I feel like the Lakers played better without them. And so I think they've got a good chance today. In baseball, day 1 was yesterday. What a fun day it was. So glad baseball was back. By the time you probably hear a lot of this, we might as well just go into the late evening games. Scherzer's pitching for the Mets. The Mets not going to be happy with Washington pitchers. Last night, Alonso got hit in the face with a ball. 3 of their, they got hit by a pitch 3 times. I think McNeil was the only one that got hit twice. And so, but they did end up winning. So we'll see. Josiah Gray's going for Washington, the young pitcher. We'll see what he does against Max Scherzer. Obviously, Max Scherzer's going back to Washington to pitch. So that's going to happen there. Texas Rangers and the Blue Jays, both first game for both these teams. So we won't be touching that one. Rangers actually have a really good lineup, much better than I thought they would coming into this year as far as outfielders go and players, batters, etc. They picked up John Gray from the Rockies, who's going to be pitching today. Toronto have Jose Barrios, the old Twins pitcher, pitching today. And, I mean, I always love their young lineup. I mean, you know, Springer opening up, and then Bichette, Guerrero, Tiesco, Hernandez, Gurriel. Next top 4, those young, exciting baseball players. And then you got the Reds versus the Braves. You got Charlie Morton going today, come back from his injury. You got San Martin pitching for the Reds, a young pitcher, but really good record in the minors. Reds beat them yesterday. I knew that was going to happen. Had the Reds to win just because hangover from winning the World Series. And then you got the Houston Astros against the Angels. The Angels couldn't seem to get anything going yesterday. So I'm sure they'll be looking to get some hits in today. And then the last game is the Padres versus the Diamondbacks. If you saw that game, Diamondbacks scored 4 runs on 3 hits, all in the 9th inning, which was crazy. They were down 3-0, couldn't get anything going. 9th inning, a walk-off home run to win the game. So I'm sure Padres will be looking for a little revenge there. Okay, so if we're going to get to our next step, which is your favorite part, I'm sure, and that is our picks of the day. We are going to give you one in baseball today, and we're going to give you one in hockey, and we actually feel pretty good about these 3 bets. So we are going to start in NBA as we always like to. And we're going to go with the Cavs plus 8.5. Cavs plus 8.5 in NBA. In hockey, we're going with the Tampa Bay Lightning to beat the Boston Bruins. And in baseball, we are going for the Angels to beat the Astros. So our 3 bets right there are the Cavs in NBA, Lightning in NHL, Angels in MLB. Okay? There are 3 bets for the day. Good luck to everyone out there, and let's kill them.